The technology that we're talking about, obviously this is newer technology than I think a lot of people are used to seeing here. Talk about the real advantages of this newer technology.
Well, Cole Morgan is our partner. They've been in the laser-guided vehicle technology business for a number of years. And they developed the guidance portion of this, and that's where the partnership comes together. So that part of it is not as new as us providing the vehicles. Laser-guided vehicles are well established, and they're out there and performing every day. So that's the big benefit of being partnered with Cole Morgan. There's not a lot of development on the guidance side of that, and they're constantly upgrading as new developments come out.
It's tried and true, and
oh yeah, it's very a lot of hours behind it. I think Cole Morgan has delivered over 15,000 AGVs with this technology on it.
And those
worldwide.
are in industry all over the United States?
All over the world.
Yeah. Okay. Now, the other aspect here, and I don't think anybody can get out on the road here in North Georgia without seeing one of your vehicles out there with your logo. That has to be a major advantage, I think, that somebody would have from operating with CIMS.
Yeah, and that's kind of what our hallmark is that we service everything we build, and we service it out of Dalton, Georgia, and we provide that service right now. If your laser-guided vehicle were to go down at 3 in the morning, we would have someone there by 3:30. So we offer that 24/7 service, and that's the same service we provide on our package equipment. We would also do on laser-guided vehicles. If you have programming changes that you need, we can be there the same day or the next day, opposed to other suppliers. So that's the opportunity that we provide by being local and being really focused on this industry, is that we care what happens in the carpet industry. It's just not another customer to us. It's our family, it's our friends, it's people we know, and so we want to perform in that area.
As I recall from an earlier conversation, you have GPS on those vehicles, so if somebody happens to stay in bed another 10 minutes, you're going to roust them, as it seems to me.
Yeah, we have our call services tied to our GPS locators on our vehicles, so we know when the call comes in, and I know when my service tech leaves his house. If it's 4 in the morning, I know when his car started and he left, because he's in a company service vehicle. So we take that performance pretty seriously, and frankly, we haven't had an issue with that in years. So our guys do a really good job of staying on top of it, and getting out in the field and getting up in the morning and going.
I hear you. Payback. You had mentioned that earlier. I guess one of the first questions that everybody has who buys equipment and upgrades equipment here in North Georgia, and I know every operation is different and the cost structures are different, but can you give us an idea with these laser-guided vehicles, what kind of payback we're talking about?
Well, I mean, obviously that's going to vary greatly depending on the application. And there are a lot of things that figure into it, not just how many people are going to be able to be saved or how much labor savings there is. There's safety savings, and there are a lot of other things that figure into it. Just risk issues that need to be considered in doing it. There are some applications the payback is relatively quick, like less than a year. And there are some that are longer, but maybe there are safety issues that add into that make it shorter. But these vehicles, depending on the application, have, anywhere from a year or more payback. Most of them are probably more than a year, less than 2. But it's in that ballpark.
I see. Long term, and I know you're an engineer, you're a techno guy from way back. Where do you see materials handling going long term? I mean, new technology is what you seem to thrive on. What are we going to see on down the road, would you imagine?
Well, I think in the coming years and months, we're going to see laser-guided vehicle technology expanded into all areas of material handling. It's becoming more and more proven every day. There's more and more applications out there that can be addressed. And anytime you spend a lot of time moving a part, where you've just got a person on a lift carrying something a long distance and back and forth, and most of their time is not spent picking or placing, but just in transit. That's a heck of an opportunity. Now, whether it pays for itself, it is going to depend on site-specific, requirements. But there's just a tremendous opportunity there in our material handling, especially in some of these large distribution centers.
I guess with growing costs, healthcare costs, for example, and the question marks that we're seeing in all kinds of areas, regulation and otherwise, people are probably more honed in on gaining efficiency and lowering costs. They always have been, but probably now more than ever.
Well, they have to be. If they're not, their competitors are. So, they have to be focused on that. And no one knows what our government's going to do next. No one can tell what regulations are on the books. We know there's more because there's never less. Yeah. And there's more coming down the road. So, as hard as that is to handle as an employer, that's hard on the employee too, because the person out there who's just trying to make a living is affected by these same regulations that drive up costs that make it more difficult, to pay an individual. And that's just a harsh reality of what we're in a society that wants to regulate everything. And, obviously some regulations are good and needed. Some just drive up cost. And anytime that happens, it, of course, makes automation, more reasonable.
Mm-hmm. Well, surveys that I've seen, and even local input here, regulation and excessive regulation has been one of the real problems to industry in general and here specifically.
Well, and the big thing is no one knows what it's going to be.
Yeah.
By the time it gets out of multiple committees and gets manipulated by different interest groups, no one can really predict that future other than to know that it's going to be harder. Tomorrow's going to be harder than today, and that's just the world we live in, and we have to adjust to that.
I know you're always working on things, and there's things on your drawing board, although that's a outdated term, I guess, anymore, isn't it? Can you share some of the things that you're thinking about and working on for the future?
Well, some of the things that we've got going now are just some methodologies we have in place to provide more information in our packaging areas on film usage and that sort of thing, so that you can get real-time feedback on how your equipment's performing. We have some things in the works on that. We have ways to reduce the cycle time of some of our packaging equipment that we're working on, and reducing the amount of film used to package. We're working on that and have some of those products sold that we'll be able to show in the future once our customers are adjusted to it and we've fully developed the projects. But there's a lot of things in that area that we're doing.
I don't know if we mentioned, or maybe we did, but you supply the film for the machines that you offer.
Right. We do supply the stretch film or shrink film. We also supply shrink tunnels, and we service shrink wrap equipment, and we service those as well. But we supply the film with it, and when we link the equipment with the film, then obviously there's one place to go if you have a problem. It's not the film guy's fault or the machine guy's fault. It's you come to us because we're supplying both. And that simplifies the whole process. If you're a customer out there and you just want your equipment to work, there's no excuse. If it's our film and our machine, we got to make it work.
You're the guy.
We got to make it work.
If somebody's interested in learning more about these laser-guided vehicles, what can they do?
Well, they can call us at CIMS. We're in the phone book. Our local number is 277-9059. 800-644-2467 is another phone number. But you can just call us and ask to speak to me. I'm handling the sales of laser-guided vehicles. And we'd love to talk to you and just go over any project you may have or any potential products you may have. That's kind of what we do, so we'd love to talk to you.
It's a great idea. I can't wait to see them.
Well, I'd be glad to show it to you.
There we go. I'll be here. I'll be here.
All right, good.
Mike, thanks for talking to us. I really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
All right, thanks, Dave.
We've been talking with Mike Peeples. He is a CEO at CIMS. This is Talk Floor TV.